Narcissists can't look at their own failings and flaws and faults and stupidity and bad character traits. They can't look at their own, they can't face that in themselves. So what they do to compensate for that is they create a idealized false self, an idealized persona. Everything that they want to be and to want to be perceived as being. And then they spend the rest of their existence focused on maintaining that false self. And other people are simply used to affirm that that false self is working, right? So other people, their role in the life of a narcissist is to let them know that they're being perceived the way they want to be perceived in this idealized form, and nobody's seeing the real self, right? And so we're seeing that playing out on a mass scale in the culture in Canada. Very similar kinds of traits, but sort of collectively expressed. And this whole thing with the Mark Carney era is it's just a glaringly great example of this, right? So in the last couple of weeks since Carney has officially entered the picture, he has repudiated and overturned 10 years of Justin Trudeau's Liberal Party platform and philosophy, right? So policies that were central not just to their platform, their political platform, but to their claim to occupy the moral high ground in Canada. These things have just been turned off overnight, and the opposite has been made the liberal worldview and the liberal platform. So what do liberal supporters do in that circumstance? Now, there are a couple of exceptions, but overall what we're seeing is instead of looking at themselves and going, how can I continue to support a party and a new political leader who is making it clear that none of that stuff that we used to support was ever true, or that, you know, if we thought we were better people for believing this stuff and it was a sign that we cared about the planet or loved immigrants or thought highly of the climate change, whatever it is, right? And now none of that matters. Well, what does that say about me if I continue to support this? What does it say about the party? It says that they're a bunch of lying hypocrites who don't believe anything. But what does it say about me continuing to support? That's not what they're doing, right? They can't or won't look at themselves. They refuse to face their own flaws, their own hypocrisies, their own dishonesty, their own self-contradictions, and the contradictions of the party who represent them. So what they do instead is that they're turning those hypocrisies and inconsistencies and that dishonesty that they are generating into flaws on behalf of the conservatives and people who support conservatives, right? So it's not that I'm a hypocrite for eagerly endorsing a new leader who's come out of nowhere from the international banking establishment, who is supposedly canceling carbon tax. It doesn't make me a hypocrite. It doesn't make him a hypocrite. It doesn't make the Liberal Party a total hypocrite. No, that's not the problem. The problem is with you guys are suddenly complaining about seeing something that you wanted done actually get done. What a bunch of hypocrites you guys are. And this is the standard defense mechanism of narcissists and intellectually dishonest, unprincipled people with no character generally. How come Mark Carney can't do what Pierre Poilievre says he's going to do Is axing the tax not good anymore? We are just trying to understand why what Carney is doing isn't good when it's the exact same thing the cons are cheering Pierre Poilievre on for promising to do. This is John Moore from Moore in the Morning, Toronto Radio, so a member of the media. Never criticize a political figure you don't like for doing what you want done. Now, the real sentiment behind this is never criticize a political figure you do like for his hypocrisy and self-contradiction. But the flaw can't be with John and his side. So he has to turn his hypocrisy into a flaw on behalf of the other people so that the flaw becomes noticing the hypocrisy. I'm assuming Poilievre is extremely happy today. Two of his biggest wishes have come true. One, Justin Trudeau is no longer PM. Two, the tax has been axed. How do you like them apples, Pierre? Say a little prayer for Pierre Poilievre and his warehouse full of axe the tax merch. Trudeau is gone now. Sad face. Carney has been on the record suggesting other carbon-forward policies, but this one was poisoned by the Conservative Party of Canada, amplified by their minions on this site, and then breathlessly reported by Canadian media as fact. The people in Canada that demanded the carbon tax be cancelled are now seeing it be cancelled by Mark Carney on day one, and now saying, yeah, but he's secretly going to do something. That's called moving the goalposts. So it's not Mark Carney and the Liberal Party who are moving the goalposts by overnight canceling policies that were central to Liberal platforms for 10 years and which Justin Trudeau and the Liberal Party proclaimed were vital to the very survival of the planet. That's not moving the goalposts. The flaw has to be, once again, on the other side. So noticing the hypocrisy becomes moving the goalposts.
This is going to get ugly.
Never okay.
Doesn't matter.
It's that 100% matters. That's what it is.